Breece Hall had some very interesting comments, plus the athletic report, Jets, Rams. It's a busy Boy Green Daily here on a Saturday. Happy holidays.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
We're 4 days from Christmas, people. I'm Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Every.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your friggin' podcast, people. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe as you're coming into the room. Get cozy, because we've got some New York Jets to discuss. But before we get there, let's bring in our special guest here. He normally joins us every single weekend. It is some Hop on Pop. The Esden Zone has joined us. What's up, Pop?
Hey now, how's it going?
Excellent. Yeah, like I said, a couple days from Christmas, I still have a few more things to iron out. Procrastinated perhaps a little bit longer than I should have, but we'll all figure it out.
You always procrastinate.
Every once in a while, like it kind of happens.
Like every time. Like you're the king of procrastination.
I'm not sure if I would crown myself the king in that particular category. I'm a king in a lot of categories. Fantasy football, of course, where unfortunately I'm going to have to dispose of your lifeless body. As all the folks know, this week we're playing in fantasy football in the playoffs with all kinds of stakes. If you win, you're punching your ticket to the championship game. And of course, you're coming up for our live fantasy draft. But if you lose, that is suddenly in jeopardy.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't really been paying attention because I just woke up from my bye week nap. Wow, did you have a bye week last week?
Well, I was scheduled to have a bye week, and it was taken from me. So
yes, it was taken. I slapped your bitch ass down to third. Get out of third place. And
one of us earned. One of us earned our path.
I had more points. I had more points the whole season.
Okay.
Last week. Yeah. For everybody to know, for Boy Green,
here we go.
To face me, he squeaked by his just the tip, like the foreskin.
We call that a buzzer beater.
0.3 points, right?
Boom.
You just barely could ride Space Mountain, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, you want to know something? Hey, hit that last second. I just hit him with that cross step. Jump back. Hey, bird, bang. The fans go crazy. I got a last second buzzer beater win. I made it more interesting for the fans. So, you know what?
Yeah.
And now I'm here, baby. I punched my ticket. I'm red hot. You got a cold engine. You haven't played some fantasy football in a while. We'll see if you can turn over. Blah, 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 blah. My engine is revving.
So in your head,
okay,
right, you just saw yourself as Jordan in the championship years. In reality, you're playing basketball with your son in the tub with the Nerf game. So you just scored on a 2-month-old. Kudos. Chef's kiss to you.
Hey, Kobe.
Now you've stepped into the big league.
Oh, okay. Well, like
the big league chew, if you will.
Well, we'll see what happens there. There is a lot to get to here on the show, and there'll certainly be some trash talking on that moving forward. I'm certain of it. But before we get to all that, let's get to the latest from Breece Hall. I'm not sure if you saw his comments, Pop, but there was two clips in particular I'd like to play that I would describe as eyebrow raising. First off, Breece Hall was informed that the New York Jets are last in the league in rushing attempts this season. They have 300 rushing attempts on the season. That is last in the National Football League. Here is Breece Hall's response to that, and whether he's disappointed that the Jets have not committed to the run game more this season.
I think you guys are last in rushing attempts this season. Are you disappointed that you guys haven't, committed to the run more this year?
I don't really have too much to say, just with how the season's going, how the games are going, that's just how it worked out. So Obviously, I want the ball as many times as I can, but if I'm not getting the ball, all I can do is just my job. So that's it.
That's he could have dunked on the Jets and said all kinds of things. I thought that was that a good old answer from Breece Hall there. Real nice.
Yeah, I think so. He took the high road. Not a lot of players would. So kudos to him on that. And because just for the record, every player is essentially their own brand.
Right. Yeah.
And so he would have done some damage, right? You'd have 2% of the Jaybirds out there. Yeah, that's right. Go get him, Breece Hall. 98% of society is like, hey, man, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did the right thing.
And here's a longer clip. There's a lot to unpack in here, and I know the questions are a little quieter because they're not on mic, so I'll make sure I give you guys a couple of them here. But Breece Hall, the eyebrow raising stuff. Beyond that, there was a good chuckle there from Breece, but I thought he handled it well. Breece Hall admitted that he rushed back from the knee injury. Remember, he got hurt right before the bye week, which was week 11. Then they have the bye in week 12. Then they come back in week 13, and Breece Hall admitted that he rushed back from it. He did reveal that there had been discussions about him being shut down for the season. And he talked about, I've never heard a running back kind of talk about this. Like, it's all been kind of assumed. We kind of dance around the subject of injury prone and stigmas and things of that nature. Breece Hall actually mentioned that here. Let's go to one more clip here from Breece and some Q&A with him and some reporters locally yesterday.
I know you had some uncertainty about your knee a week or two ago. You're not in the injury report now. How much better are you feeling? And did that come at all as a surprise to you at this stage because you didn't take a ton of time off?
Yeah, like I said, just trying to get back and play. Probably rushed it a little sooner than what I needed to, but feeling a little bit better now, able to practice more comfortably and everything. But like I said, I'm just trying to do my best to service the team and be out there for Sunday.
Did you think that when a couple of weeks ago that might be it for you, like for the season? Was there kind of a chance that you might have to get shut down? Did you think that?
Definitely had discussions about it and everything, but like I said, I just if we got older guys on the team, if they're able to come out here and play, we know I cannot play. So I feel like I don't want to be selfish and not play for the team if everybody else is playing. If everybody else is playing, I feel like I should too, just because guys have made a commitment and been here even though they don't have to. So I'm just trying to make the commitment to my teammates, to the coaches, and everybody, and show I want to play.
There's a balance too with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like where it's like, okay, this is what we want to do, but like long term, also trying to take that into account.
Yeah, but I feel like as a running back, it's like, I already had one season in the injury, and then get injured in my third year. Just don't want a stigma around me about me being injury prone, and obviously I still play, I still can be effective and everything, so it's fine.
These people on the outside might look and say 3 wins or 4 wins now, there's no playoffs in sight, why risk it? Maybe just shut it down just to make sure you're healthy for next year. What do you say to that?
Yeah, just a standard we set around here. There's a lot of people that don't have to be playing or could call it quits and shut it down, but we're doing it for each other, we're here for each other, and so we're gonna play.
So good answers there from a teammate perspective, but also, like I said, it was interesting to hear him say he does not want the stigma of being an injury-prone running back, and that would be an important stigma to avoid because he's got 1 year left on his rookie contract, and he's eligible to discuss a contract extension with the team after this season, Pop.
Yeah, and by the way, I got to go to something first, right?
All right.
That guy standing beside Breece Hall reminds me of you in one of your promo video, your older promo video, right? You have an iPhone Roman numeral 1 because you're a cheap ass.
Yeah.
Somebody buy that guy a dictaphone, right? Somebody do something because I don't know what he's writing down, but he's about to lose a brain cell. Nor do I know why the cameraman decided to include him, and he seems uncomfortably close to Breece Hall for some reason. And I'd be like, hey, man, how about you take a step back? But anyways, give that guy something, a recording device. Even like the old school grandma recording. Oh, we're talking to my tape machine, but come on. anyways.
Well, let me see. Actually, we just I'm gonna put that aside so people could get a better look at him. 1 second here, and I'll put it up on the screen for old our buddy here. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. Let's pop this up on the screen here. This is the guy you were just referencing here. Let me blow this up so people could get a good look at him. Yeah, he does have a lot of multitasking efforts happening here. Let's show this up on the screen here. This is, I don't know who this is. I normally know most of the reporters that are there, but I do not know this guy. There you go. Here he is. Got the iPhone on the notebook there. He's got another phone of some kind. Yeah, he's got a lot of action happening there. And it does appear to be an older phone. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's getting more action than a 16-year-old on prom night.
Jesus. Okay, there we go. I thought you were going to go maybe the M&M route, more ass than a toilet seat, but I respect that too. There you go. Okay, we'll see if we can rally something for this young man. Speaking of rallying, we could throw this up on the board.
What's that? Guy, I said that guy was reporting during the Washington administration.
That poor guy, he's just trying to do his job, for Pete's sake. He's just trying to do his job. But I am unaware of why he was featured so prominently, in the.
Let's call Blart over back to Breece, and that's
segue.
Yes,
nice.
So let's not lay on the bathroom floor looking for a dirty lollipop. Anyways, so let's put everything in perspective here.
Okay.
The Jets are the last in rushing attempts. They literally are one rushing attempt away from like 8 teams per game, right? So it's not like, the team, so they're in the bottom 10, right? You get in there, it's 1 to 2 rushing attempts per game now that we're 14, 15 games into the season. 14, I understand. So thank you for people that want to jump on it correctly. But yeah, so are they not doing it a lot? Yes. Is that part of the detriment to their game? And unlike in years past, it's not because they're getting their ass kicked, right? There's no reason to be throwing the ball over the field, right?
Correct.
And frankly, people throw the ball because they need to catch up or because they're that good. And the Jets have not been that good. Stats are a bitch, right? There's stats and then there's reality stats, right? Aaron Rodgers is going to have the most prolific, I'll use the word prolific, passing in the Jets history. Well,
probably,
yeah. There's a lot that we said that I'm going to take the high road on that, like Breece Hall, but let's just say, and in crunch time, in those 6 games that they've lost or 7 games they lost with 6 points or less, whatever, they haven't had to be that. They could have run the ball and they should have.
Exactly. Right.
But it's not, just put in perspective. There's about a 10-pack of teams at the bottom that not run the ball. Now, the number 1 team is over 500 rushing yards, has a 210, almost
correct
the amount of rushing yards.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So, but right, there is a 10-pack of teams that are dwelling in the basement, and the Cowboys are one of them, right? Which, whatever the case is. But
and they have 40 more rushing attempts than the Jets. Yeah.
Right, so 3 per game. But you talked to Breece Hall took the high road. I appreciate that. Throughout the whole conversation, right? He could have vented his frustration. That, and by the way, nobody wins with that.
Right. It gives you the temporary satisfaction, right? The fuck you to the boss on the way out. Right. And you'll get a dopamine rush from that.
And it's even better than that because nobody gives a fuck about the boss.
Right. So you would have a rallying. Yeah.
That you can, right? There's no check to cash, right? His mouth could have written any check because his boss is not going to be his boss, and his boss's boss is not going to be in the building, or they're already not in the building. So it was an opportunity. He could have taken the cheap shot. He did not. But it is time, and unlike some of the things in the athletic report, it is time for somebody to come down. Hey, Ulbrich. Yeah. We both know that I've already put the boxes in your office to pack your shit up.
Yeah.
But if you don't want me to send somebody to kneecap you, how about you bench Breece for the rest of the year? How about you protect him from himself? Yeah. Right. And so I respect that you want to go out on your shield. that you want to come back. These are prideful people, right?
Of course.
There are those players that, I'm making all this money. I want to sit back. I can take the rest of the year off. Clearly he's not that guy, but at some point you got to protect him from yourself. And we don't know what the doctors are telling Breece Hall, but I'll tell you that unlike some injuries, some like the chesticle injury for Lazard, seems like you're probably not going to hurt that worse. You're not going to walk around in your chest, but a knee injury, for any knee injury, it could get worse. I can't imagine there's a knee injury that would not has the potential to get worse. And if it does, we're talking about a knee, right? You look at you look at that horrific knee injury by one of the best young defensive players in the league for the Cowboys, right? And that he's not going to be back at the beginning of next season. So with that on the table, you got to bench Breece Hall. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's the part that kind of gets me personally, because I respect that Breece and all his motivations to do it, from the running back stigma to be a good teammate and all that stuff. But these words that I'm about to say were uttered by interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich at the podium in reference to Breece Hall. He tweaked his knee a bit, and he's been struggling with it a bit. Those happened in separate press conferences of him referencing Breece Hall's knee, and the media. We don't get a camera shot of the media, but the gasp and immediate follow-up is like, "What? Why the hell is he playing? What do you mean? What this?" And then he just said, we're going to get answers throughout the week," and he just like kerfluffled all around it. But that's the thing that you have to, and that's what some people were saying in response to the videos on social media of the viral nature of it, where people saying, "Man, it sounds like an adult should have stepped in the room and taken the toy from Breece."
And right, of all the things we've been talking about, these next 3 games, or we're going to get to some of it in a minute, these next 3 games, right? This is, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is the evaluation phase. You don't have to evaluate Breece Hall. You know what he is.
Yeah.
Right? And we all have different opinions of that. But he's not going to make you, hey, that Breece Hall guy, he can really catch a pass out of the backfield. But you know what you got. We think we probably know we're reasonably sure we have Braylon Allen, but the Jackrabbit, we really need to, is he in a weird world when the world is upside down? You're the new general manager, you're the new head coach, you decide you need to make some big moves, right? And you want to be able to know what you have. And so in that world, and I'm advocating for this so everyone can calm down in advance, in the world that that you could trade Breece Hall, because Isaiah did the 1-2 of what you have,
Braylon and Isaiah Davis.
Right. And that you could do that. And again, I'm not advocating for it, but if Isaiah Davis is, if they do some kind of combo with him and Braylon Allen, you see what you have now, because they need to know everything. For the Jets in 2025 and this new GM, the new head coach, nothing should be off the table. We need to stop doing, right, the definition of insanity. Look at my byline. Definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results.
Yeah, right. And I agree with this point here from NY Jets FL. I think Breece can be Alva Kamara-like in the right offense. Certainly from the receiving perspective, they both kind of seemingly have that path from it. Again, Alvin Kamara is a running back that people don't know, has never had 1,000 yards rushing in his career. So that'd be a shocker to some people, because a lot of people consider Alvin Kamara among the best running backs in football.
I will tell you that, go back to that. That's exactly right. He is who he is. He's not Jerome Bettis. He is not, the king, right? He
Earl
is not
Campbell or something.
Right. No, I meant King Henry.
No, I just meant like a bigger running back.
Yeah, he's not a bigger running back.
Yeah, right.
And he's not an every down. He's not a pounded up the middle back. I'm not gonna say every down back, because that depends on the offense, right? But he's not a Saquon Barkley, right? So you got to play to his skill sets.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Also, so you mentioned that reporter, Pop, that inspired one of our regulars, Snowball. He said he recognized that reporter, and he sent me this image. And he said, "I recognize that reporter. It's a portion of a painting from Raphael called The School of Athens." He said, "I believe it's the same guy."
Yes, yes, and that's why they didn't get to do the full shot there,
Yeah.
or he's done the hair club for men. I'm not sure what the case is.
Yeah, but either way, there you go. Just real quick, going back to that other Breece Hall point about the being last in rushing attempts, that's perhaps the most frustrating part of the season because the Jets have been in all these close games all year. Again, there have certainly been ones where the Jets were forced to bite the curb and got a roundhouse kick in the back of the head. Arizona, San Francisco, despite what the final score ended up being. Like, there was a couple this year like, whoa, okay, Jets had no chance. They were run off the field in those ones. Most of the games this season were close, which would indicate that the run game was perfectly still up for grabs throughout it. So not only are the Jets last in rushing attempts, that's a true stat, but also Breece Hall has never had a game with 20-plus rushing attempts this season. Again, shout out to Matt O'Leary, who highlighted that a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately that statistic continues to ring true. Like, it's just they didn't commit to him. And maybe, again, with him battling injuries now, maybe that means with more wear and tear, it would have always happened with more injuries anyway. Maybe that's who he is. Who knows? But that to me is part of the frustration, because you could say if the Jets were just getting blown out every game and I go, oh, the Jets are last in rushing attempts. Okay, they're getting run off the field. They have no choice. They must pass and ditch things. The fact that it's not, like I said, is incredibly frustrating. But there it is. So we'll see. Again, the Jets will have some big boy decisions to make. We'll see. Do they just give Breece an extension this offseason? That one seems unlikely to me. It feels like they're going to ride it out, push out the final year, play the franchise tag game after that because it's dirt cheap money. And it's not great for Breece Hall in terms of the finances, but, that's just, if teams have control, they normally exercise that control.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So,
Let
and
me,
this is a danger,
yeah.
right? We got Robert Saleh, and then you have somebody that, in my opinion, would never have been a head coach anywhere, anyways. And now he's making decisions that are going to affect the franchise for the next 5+ years to come. And this Breece Hall injury, right? He could go out this week, and his career could be over based on a shitty decision for 3 games that don't matter.
Yeah, so again, that's why adults have to come in the room to make some of those big boy decisions. I forgot to flip this at the beginning of the show. The Boy Green Emoji Contest continues, baby. Every membership you gift will enter you into the contest for a custom emoji. Again, the number one person who gifts the most this month will win that. And then if you gift any amount of memberships, again, if you only gift one this month, you'll get a raffle ticket to our giveaway at the end of the month that includes a Hall of Famers New York Jets jersey, a bunch of autographed merch, and all kinds of other cool stuff from my personal collection. Currently, our number one gifter so far this month is Chef Kevin Gilbert with 37 gifted memberships. Our number one Austrian Jet fan has 35. For Lillian, Big D is at 30. Ed Vargas is at 30. And FL Phil 98 is at 29, with MFC just a few shekels behind at 23. So keep those gifted memberships coming, baby. We're running out of time. We only got another 10 days and change until we're going to be drawn for that contest. So, guys, keep it rolling. All the information is always on the scrolling ticker down below. And we forgot to mention this as well. Go Irish, as they started off the official inaugural college football expanded 12-team playoff, and Notre Dame is moving on to play Georgia. And folks, enjoy football both today and tomorrow. We have college football playoff all day. We've got NFL games today. We got the NFL games on Sunday. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. I'm planning on surgically attaching myself to the couch and not leaving it for the entire weekend, hopefully. So there you go.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that those referees should never referee a game again. That refereeing staff that allowed Indiana to have 5 or 10 extra minutes at the end. You guys need more time? You guys okay? I know that we reviewed the play and they didn't make the first down, and then we still give you 5 minutes to huddle up and get ready and then run to the line of scrimmage. Take your time, boys. We're not going to roll that clock on you. Take your time. So garbage.
It's good that the team won that was supposed to win. That is absolutely for certain. So, Dad, I didn't get to this on the show immediately because other things popped up. You have since reviewed the article. I've reviewed the article, but I haven't talked about it much here on the show. The Woody Johnson Athletic article. I'll just say off the top, and I'll be curious your takeaways. The Madden thing is bullshit. There is no way. The Jets are dysfunctional. I have to admit that. Okay, how do you miss the playoffs 14 seasons in a row and you're not doing something wrong in the building? But that a Madden rating was the reason a trade was canceled is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's funny. It's getting some ha-ha jokes in the media, but there's no way that that's actually true. So I'll just start off with that one off the top. What were your major takeaways from this athletic deep dive on Woody Johnson and the Jets?
Yeah, I would tell you the Madden thing. It sounds stupid until you think about it.
Okay.
Madden is worth the Madden Empire, EA Sports is worth almost. It's in the game. It's almost worth as much as the Jets franchise themselves, and all they do. It's in the billion ballpark. You know exactly what is it? I don't know. I think Madden, the franchise, is worth several $billions. You can check me on that, but
let me see. Well, yeah, I got to get Madden video game because it's giving me John Madden, his net worth. Whoops. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting any immediate answers. That's probably going to be a tougher one to answer because it's just
no, I looked it up earlier in the year.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to we'll have to look it up a different time. I'm just getting all kinds of nonsense. The sales they've generated and things of that nature, but nothing concrete. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but anyways, so what do they do in the video game? So it's worth $1 billion. I looked up before. Okay. They're worth like $1 billion. But anyways, what do they do? Right? They analyze data. They analyze players. They make the game as realistic as they can. And so they actually have 43 attributes they measure, calculate, and determine the player's value. That's what the score comes from. And it goes to the combine, it goes to their stats, it goes to this, that, or the other. And some players actually go in and do some stuff for them. So it sounds dumb, but it's not as dumb as you think. That essentially you've invited all this analytics. It's become part of your data. Is it 25% of your decision? Hopefully not. Could you ask them? Is there some yin yang that you could go get that data from them to break down the available wide receivers? I think you could, right behind the video game. But anyways, you wouldn't want that out there, right?
Probably not. No,
probably not. But yeah, and the fact that Woody and his two kooky sons,
Jack and Brick, I believe.
Yeah, Jack and Brick. Yeah, it's if any of that stuff is true, and it seems like some of it has to be. I don't know how it's been kept under wraps because this is not new. You go back, read that article.
No, all of it's
all dates back.
Yeah, the Mike White stuff's old. That's like 2022, 2021. So yeah.
Right. That the owner is disparaging the quarterback in the locker room. So I'll tell you this. Okay. If you're the president of the United States, you get to walk around the rest of your freaking life as a president. There are titles that you earn. And then I'm not sure you have to correct people if they don't call you that, but there are titles that you earn, right? I was in the Navy, I was United States Navy, and in the Navy they have the rank of chief, right? Everyone knows that. I will see people and they will call me that even though they didn't know, and somehow they tie that link. But ambassador is not one of them.
Ambassador Johnson. And I love that he apparently, according to the article, he sent a guy in the room ahead of time and said, hey, everybody, just so you know, you reference him from this point forward as Ambassador Johnson. Thank you. And then leaves the room, and then Woody comes into the room. That's
right. That's next funny. Gen. That's next gen. Like what the. But yes, no, I mean, it's a mess. The Jets, and maybe that's it, right? Maybe. And then do you want to come in, and how involved is he? It's been more prevalent this year, Woody Johnson. And maybe he's as pervasive as Jerry Jones. But I would say it was not as evident before this year. Like you hear a lot more stuff this year about it. But I would tell you hear shit about Jerry Jones inserting himself all the time.
Well, Woody was the Mr. Ambassador. He was gone for most of the last. So Joe Douglas had a 6-year deal. I mean, presidency, he was gone for like 4 of the 6 years. So, I mean,
right.
The meddling, had to have been somewhat reduced because he couldn't have. So, we're getting a lot of shit now. And again, a lot of the stuff in there is disturbing. Again, the disparaging the player in the locker room. Mike White slams his helmet. He's like, yeah, you should slam your helmet. You fucking suck, buddy. Like, that's probably not something you should be saying in the locker room. His kids and bringing like their friends of boys and girls in the locker room. The locker room's a professional place. That's unprofessional to have the kids running around in there.
And the wife is chastising players.
Yeah, apparently his Ukrainian wife, Suzanne, I believe her name is, apparently doing all kinds of things about the players in the locker room. Like, yeah, that to me is like, what the heck? But like, yeah, some people have criticized the Athletic, saying a lot of this sourcing is coming from what's the right word? Scorned former employees like Joe Douglas. Like, Joe Douglas has nothing to blame for Woody for meddling because, like I said, 4 of his 6 years he wasn't there, and he gave him a full 6 years to see it through. Salah had 4 years and change. So, like, patience or time committed wasn't an issue for that. So that part of it, I like. Go, come on, you gotta. It's a results-oriented business. You have to carry your own stuff there. But yeah, that kind of stuff is the stuff that was most disturbing to me about the Athletic report was Woody Johnson, or Ambassador Johnson, my apologies. Ambassador Johnson, his wife, and all his kids kind of being in and around the locker room that way. Again, we have to be honest that an owner and owner's children and people in the owner family are going to have privileges that normal people don't. And I understand that. But yeah, a lot of that stuff goes too far. And like the weird thing with Brick taking the Brick, let me be specific. There's a lot of Bricks. Brick Johnson, the son of Woody, grabbing the game ball and doing a whole TikTok thing for his own thing and making it awkward and taking a game ball away that was supposed to go to someone else and him inserting himself in that moment. It's really just weird. That's just kind of strange. So that one was a bit bizarre too.
Yeah, it's just a mess. And I got to just circle back to this ambassador thing. Those are terms of respect, right? You don't make somebody use a term respect. That's like these goofballs, and I'm going to go on this tirade. That has nothing to do. But
okay,
those people that walk around in life, and I work with some of them, and hopefully they're not watching the show. But if you go to school long enough, right, you get a doctorate,
sure,
right. So you can get a doctorate in anything, right? Toenail removal, and in your email. It's Paul Andresden. It's doctor. What kind of a doctor? Your brain surgeon? Your cardiologist, neurosurgeon. No, I'm a doctor of mathematics. No, moron, you're not a doctor of mathematics. You spent a lot of time in school learning freaking math, but you're not a doctor. Right? In the words of Andrew Dice Clay, did you go to school to be a doctor? No, I didn't. Then, well, I won't say the rest of the line, but you're not a freaking doctor. Okay. Doctors heal people. I even spot dentists as a doctor because
you do
serious medical help. But a doctor in history, a doctor in math. All right. Shut the up. You're not a doctor.
All right. I appreciate you drawing the line there. It seemed like there was something you wanted to get off your chest. So I can appreciate that. Is there anything else on this Athletic thing that you wanted to debunk or talk about or anything of that nature that to vet out there?
It's just sad, right?
The timing is sad because the Jets are looking for a head coach and a GM, and for this to come out, that we'll see what happens. But to me, from a perception standpoint, that's brutally devastating for this report to come out like this. Whether you believe it or not, it's just out there in the ethos that people are talking about on shows and social media. That can't be good.
And right. And somebody, right, you talk about, whatever. Somebody was sitting on this. There's very little new information in this freaking report.
This feels
and it almost it's like, hey, get the Claymore, point it towards the Jets. Dink, right? It
seems kind of fucked up.
It seems like you saved it for like literally they're on the Jets are like twitching. Oh, it looks like he's getting up. I was going to do a really bad reference, and I will not. I'm backing up. I'm pulling it in. Yeah. But anyway, the Jets are on the ground twitching, and it's like I think he's coming after. I think he's about to get up and attack us. Kick. Right? It's just, it's like they were saving it. I think the Jets might have some. I think they won last week. Drop the nuclear warhead.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
Yeah. So again, we'll see. Like I said, well, you can debunk any of what I'm about to say, despite all this coming out. And like I said, no matter how you slice it, it's not good, whether you believe it or not. And some people do, some people don't. There's too much to not believe any of it. Like I think I'd be naive to say that, but some of it I look at it sideways. But either way, the fact that it's out there, like I said, is going to cause some issues. But despite all that, I think the Jets are attractive for a lot of reasons. They're the only NFL team that is looking for a head coach and GM. While some may look at that as not valuable, I actually look at it the other way because a person can install their plan. They're not hooked up with a Mickey Loomis in New Orleans, a Ryan Poles in Chicago, a Trent Baalke in Jacksonville, wherever. Pick all the open spots. They all have general managers that appear to be staying. So the Jets are the only one with a GM vacancy at this point. I think that's good because you can install your full game plan. The Jets have all these talented players all over the place. They have a top 10 pick. They've got some cap space. Like they've got all these things to me that if someone was coming in, there's bad stuff again, depending on how you feel about the New York thing. If that's not your vibes, that's going to turn some people off right away that are into that sort of thing. And the history of the Jets of not being able to turn things around, that this is some sort of a cursed or snake bitten franchise or stuff. Some people stay away from that, but I think there are plenty to like about this opportunity.
Yeah, you bring up a really right. There's got to be, and maybe it's only nuggets that are true, but there's enough in there that makes the stuff that's clearly not true. You're like, right. But you're exactly right. That is incredibly, for those people, unattractive, right? So New York, Dallas, those are really the two. There may be another one but it's not coming to me. It's not because we're on a Jetso and I have some Cowboys and but really think about it. Like you think about all the crap that you hear about Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, whatever, and then you look around, you're like Justin Herbert. Think, hey, you've sucked for a long time. You look at some of these other players like Goldilocks there from
Trevor Lawrence. Right. He's in Jacksonville, so he avoids a lot of the bullets. Yeah, right.
Right. Because nobody cares, right? And it's just, it's just insane. You've got to be willing to take it. You go to these other places, and it's got to be night and day different, right?
I imagine.
San Diego, they have a good fan base, but the rest of the area doesn't give two shits, right? They're like, oh, we've got plenty of other stuff to do.
Apparently,
it's just, But yes, so it's just bad timing.
Yeah. By the way, Phil, with the Hangover movie, you're not a doctor. You're really just a dentist.
Right. I was trying to be kind, but yes,
honorary doctorate, as Edward B. brings up, worst of all, as we get a little bit of that in there as well. Pop, we've got Jets Rams. We got two veteran quarterbacks, although teams are in different places. The Jets have a top 10 pick in the draft. The Rams are currently in first place in the NFC West and have a path to the division title, and thus the home playoff game that comes with it. I'm curious your thoughts on this contest.
Yeah, and I actually go back to what we were just talking about. So it's super important to me to build the future of the Jets the right way. And the right way is this. You find the general manager, right? And then he hires the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And together they decide what they're going to do and they've got decisions to make. You got decisions to make at the quarterback. You have you could have decisions at running back. You definitely have decisions at wide receiver. Like, what are you going to do? And so I say all that to say this. My biggest fear is that the Jets are playing a bunch of crappy defenses at the end of the year. And even you, right, who's bipolar in, you're like, it's Aaron Rodgers, guys, got to go. And then he plays, as I predicted, he did fairly well against two of the worst defenses in the NFL. You're like, wait a minute, we got to run this back. And right, so they're about to play a horrendous defense. The best defense they have in the next 3 games is the Dolphins. And so they're going to play well against the Rams, right? The Rams just gave up 42 points to the Buffalo Bills. And by the way, at times it didn't look like there was a defense on the field. It looks like they were just there to pat them on the back on the way to the score.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a good game by Aaron Rodgers. I will tell you, here's an interesting fact.
All right.
The Rams play to the level of their competition. And I would tell you, you look, and there's only one game that was by more than a touchdown, the results of the game. They are the only team in the NFL. The Rams are the only team in the NFL with a winning record with a negative points differential,
Wow, that's a step.
right? And I will tell you that the negative points differential between the 4-10 New York Jets and the Rams, who are at 8-6, is maybe 10 points difference, maybe 14 points. I don't have it memorized.
It's 14 points. It's minus 42 for the Jets, minus 28 for the Rams.
Think about that. So
2 touchdowns.
this is going to be a tight game.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams have a prolific offense,
Mm-hmm.
and their defense not very. So I expect it's going to be there's going to be some scoring going on, and if there's not, then that's a different story. But yeah, it's going to be the Rams are an interesting team this year, and still was on the cusp of things to play for. So it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game to watch, and hopefully Breece Hall is not suited up on the field.
Yeah, he will be. He has zero injury, and he has zero injury designation for this game, so he will be a full go, according to Jeff Ulbrich. So he will be playing in this game. But
I think we
go ahead.
need to send one of those math doctors over to Johnny. It looks like he's fallen and hit his head, and he's
Life alert?
speaking gibberish.
I
Gibberish.
see.
You give him the button. I've fallen and I can't get up. We need a guy with a math doctorate to run over to Johnny's house and do some whatever Heimlich, whatever it is.
Yeah, we'll investigate that. The thing I like is West Coast team coming East Coast. The game time temperature will be 24 degrees. So these California boys, I think that's another advantage for the home team, the green and white. That should benefit them because this high flying, sexy video game dome like offense. I'm curious how that's going to look in the brittle temperatures here at MetLife Stadium. To me, that should be interesting. So, what's your prediction for this contest?
It's going to be super close. I started looking at the spread of the game.
Yes.
Normally the home team gets 3 points, 2.5, 3 points.
Correct.
The Rams are favored by 3, which is really about a touchdown.
Yeah.
I would say if I had seen anything from the Jets defense, if I had any faith in the Jets defense, I would pick the Jets. The thing is, in my opinion,
sure,
having watched some Rams games, right, the Rams are going to score. And
yes,
the Jets defense is not going to hold up. And the Jets offense hasn't proven that they can get in a shootout, right, and stay up, right? And it only takes one drive. It takes one drive of the Rams defense that, Aaron takes too long with the ball. Something's going to happen. One of the drops, we talked about the drops before. And I think it's going to be that close. And so I'm thinking it's going to be 30-25 Rams.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring too. I'll give my official prediction with Woody tomorrow on the program, but I do think it's going to be high scoring. And I agree. The Jets defense can't stop a nosebleed. So Jets, Aaron always says it all the time. We got to score 30 points to win or to be, to be in the conversation and winning games. Well, that's going to be the case, I believe, tomorrow as well. Going to get 2 prolific offenses in back-to-back weeks, maybe 3, depending on the health of the Dolphins offense, I guess, but certainly the 2 with the Buffalo and the Rams. That'll be compelling to see. And as I said before, I'm not normally a tanking guy in terms of I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers throw a pick 6 or anything like that. I know Manchild is my radio partner on the radio, said he's rooting for his Giants to fumble the ball and make all kinds of mistakes to lose as badly as possible. So that's pretty sick. I'm not in that range. And now that the Jets no longer even have a 0.1 chance at the number 1 pick, now I don't care anymore. That would have been interesting because I'm a draft day guy, and that would have been interesting. But they can't anymore, so now I don't care. I win the last 3 for all I care and pick 12th. It doesn't matter to me anymore. Now it's all hoopla. So I'm rooting for the Jets to kick some ass and get crazy against the Rams. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think who knows? The Jets could be like the number 1 Austrian Jet fan. who I think is just laying in wait
Mm.
quietly. Chef Ramsey or whatever his name is.
Chef Kevin Gilbert.
Yeah, Chef Kevin Gilbert. Chef Kevin Gilbert made an announcement to his detriment that he was coming, and then he made his move.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty bold. He
That
said,
was pretty bold.
hey, yo, Boy Green, what's it going to take to get first play? I'm like, oh, man, yeah, sure. We'll do the math real quick. And then I told him what the minimum was, and he went above the minimum. And then he just said, yeah, hold my beer, pal. And yeah, now he's currently still number one. Number one Austrian Jet fan is just 2 memberships behind a tie and 3 memberships away to take the lead.
Yeah, I think he's just setting one of those Austrian traps. He's dug a hole, put some sticks over it, waiting for who's eating Gilbert grape to walk across it. And
what is an Austrian trap? That one I just I mean, you sort of described it there, but
let's just go with it. All right.
Okay, all right, there we go. So yeah, we'll see. So you believe your prediction is Austrian Jet fan will lie in wait. He's not going to just jump on top of the pile right now. He's going to lie in wait and give a false sense of confidence here, Chef Kevin Gilbert, thinking he sees the light at the end of the tunnel and then jump on him later. Is that your prediction?
Yeah, I think number one Austrian Jet fan has been egging everybody on. Yeah, and he's been slow playing it.
Okay. Right? He has recently. There's been like a one here, a one here. Right. He was aggressive early. Yeah.
What he's doing is he's doing you an amazing favor, right? He's driving this up slowly.
Oh, I see. That's what's happening. I see.
Slowly. He's letting people think that they have a chance, and then and I'm wondering, very interested in the direction he's going to go with the emoji when he gets it.
We'll see. Hey, by the way, a quick shout out. Dakota brought it up. Alan, who I think you remember, Pop, that calls into the show sometimes. I was on the Jake Asman show yesterday. He put a bounty on him. He paid me $30 in memberships to make sure Alan was banned from the comment section for 24 hours. So I said, oh, okay, I can be bought. So Alan, unfortunately, cannot comment right now, I believe, for whatever the 24 hours. I think we started the show at like 4-ish yesterday. So he's out of commission for today's show, but he could be brought back. So, yeah, I'm a man of principle. And
so if somebody gave you $31, he'd be brought back.
He could be brought back 100% right now. I could unban Alan if someone brought in $31 either in super chats or some combination of memberships of people, because a few people were like #free Alan, and I went like, okay, feel free.
It's glad to see that I've raised a man of integrity.
Exactly. Yeah.
That can just arbitrarily ban free speech in the United States of America. So stay classy, Boy Green. Stay classy.
Which, by the way, we have a good caller both on this show and that show. His name is Kyle Clifton, and he was not happy that Alan was banned. He said exactly what you said, free speech and everything else of that nature. And I agree. I don't mind the Alan being a opposing force in a lot of ways. He seems to really rub Jake the wrong way, but like, I don't mind different opinion. Like when he comes on the show, it seems to really rev people up, his takes and his interesting perspective. But yeah, like I said, that's bail money right there. $30 of bail money. Look,
what kind of bail are you talking about?
I don't know. My Holy King said, did someone pay Alan's bail $30? Yeah, we will unlock him for $30. There's no question. Yeah.
Yeah. Impeccable integrity.
Amen.
Boy Green.
Yeah.
You should see what he does on the street corner for $10. Anyway.
I will tell you that I have a closet full of a lot of clothes. I do not have the, hey, $5 is $5 shirt. I do not. That shirt is not in the collection.
Yeah, well, yeah, because $5 is a little higher than your price bracket. You have one of those little change machines. You're like,
that's
you're like, hey man, they see you, they meet, hey, aren't you Boy Green? Yeah, hey, can you $1 because I'm willing, I don't want to overpay.
No, anyway, we appreciate all super chats and memberships on the show of any level. Again, we got 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, spread the gospel of Boy Green Daily. Pop, do you have any time for phone calls, or is there anything else you wanted to get to before phone calls?
Yeah, I just hope that I go back to it that Woody Johnson maybe reads the article and comes to some kind of reality, wakes up from a coma and realizes he needs to hire a GM and then let them do what they do without interfering, whatever that means. If the new GM and head coach come in, they're like, man, we want Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a terrible idea. But then let him do it. But that's really what needs to happen. And evaluate over the next 3 games and bench Breece Hall for his own good.
Yeah, this may just be positivity coming from me here, but again, this story is not good news. There's no way to put it. But now that you're playing PR and the story has come out, if I'm Woody, this should put an immense amount of pressure on me to make sure I get it right. If you don't want to be the clown show anymore, you don't want to be made fun of and have all these jokes. Apparently, Jeopardy made a joke this week about the Jets because of all this. That's funny. Although I thought most of those shows were pre-recorded months in advance. Anywho, it doesn't matter. A lot of people have been making jokes about the Jets. Al Davis, Syracuse alum, just win, baby. That's it. If you win, the jokes stop or slow down because you're winning. The Jets haven't won in a long time, so they really have no one else to blame but themselves. So hopefully, again, to your point, this is just kind of additional pressure for Woody Johnson just to make sure he gets it right. And what I would say about this athletic report is any respectable candidate that knows their biscuits are going to bring up this report and say, hey, is there any truth to this? Or what's your response? Or how did you learn from this? Like, that would be I know they're coming to interview me, but I'm coming to interview them. Hey, whoa, what's going on here? What the hell happened with this? And then if they just go, hey, man, we fucked up, but that's why we want to bring you in to help fix this. And here's the plan, this, that, or the other. Okay, I think that's compelling. So hopefully they use this as a learning opportunity.
Right. I would like to shout out to your lovely mother and
sure.
the family that we're going to a family reunion today. So
yes.
Shout out to
you're in a different location. Yes.
Right. I'm in Massachusetts, right next to in the old Sturbridge Village neighborhood.
Nice.
Just saw some pilgrims.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Sure.
Doing some unnatural acts to a turkey. But anyways.
All right. Thank you for that. Anywho, so do you have any time for calls, Pop?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Johnny, please call in as I educate you on what's going to happen to Georgia from Notre Dame's #1 defense.
Well, okay. I thought you were going to bring up Johnny Boy for this. He posted the things I would do for $50 with several laughs. I thought that's what you were going to kind of address.
Yeah. By the way, Johnny, you better get your change machine because nobody's paying you $50.
Oh, hey now. All right. Well, let's play a quick HEP call as we get this party started. The phone line's open next.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking just football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy.
There it is, HEP, baby. We have the phone lines open. Feel free. That is the pin comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. Real quick, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you have to hop on over to YouTube to be able to call into the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, love HEP.
Right.
And he's like a kid on Christmas when he's singing that song. The future of the Jets, the 2024 season, the promised land has arrived.
Yeah.
The inspiration in his eyes is it's nice and it's sad at the same time.
Speaking of, actually, Pop, we haven't gotten your reaction to this. I'd like to play you another song. This one was from FL Phil 98. He sent this song in, and it's referenced next year, a Jets song that he wrote and sung here on the show, and we have it sent in here. So without further ado, here we go.
Well, we're sitting here where we've been sitting before, wondering why we keep taking more. And if you know why, won't you please share the reason with me? We start every season full of anticipation, hoping it don't end in frustration, but the football gods just won't ever let us be. We are the fans of a team called the New York Jets, and being one of them leaves you full of regret, and we ain't been happy since we won frickin' Super Bowl III. We need change. Now that folks have been fired, we need change. Someone to get us inspired, and pray they'll turn it around just as quick as can be. So here's to next year, let's believe we can win. Here's to next year, start all over again. Let's keep smiling, 'cause you know there's always next year. Yeah, keep on smiling, 'cause you know there's always next year.
There you go. The sweet pipes of Philium, a.k.a. FL Phil 98. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, it seems like we got to start America's Got Talent Boy
Yeah,
Green version.
that's what I figured. That's what I figured with Hep and everybody else. Beautiful, the great pipes of one FL Phil 98, both with the song and the lyrics and everything else. A lot more musically inclined than me, that's for sure. All right, let's hop on over to the phone lines, baby. Johnny Boy as requested.
Hey, good morning, guys. Papa Esden,
What
BG, what's
bathrobe
going
is
on?
that? What do we got going on
What
there?
are you
What's this?
wearing?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm so cold right now, bro. It's a blanket.
Oh, it's a blanket. Oh, you have
Yeah,
it wrapped around like a parka of some kind. Okay, all right.
yeah, man. It's elementary, my dear Watson.
Ah, I see. Well received. Okay, welcome to the show.
Well, today for some reason I just can't stop singing a lot of the songs from the Rocky movies.
Oh yeah. Oh, great soundtrack.
So it's in my head, man. But um, wanted to come up here real quick because the fan base is going crazy right now, guys.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
want to let you guys know this, right? So yesterday I was hearing, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts in regards to this, right? Would you guys say that our line has gotten better since Olu's taken over the left tackle position, and they seem like they're gelling a lot better?
Undoubtedly. I mean, the stats say that. Everything says that. I know that's probably a sore subject for my father, Tyron Smith, but it's an uncomfortable truth. Yes.
So there's a lot of conversations being said and told right now that getting rid of Titman, moving Titman on over to guard out of center, and then drafting a new center to put in his place. So I wanted to get your guys' thought. Yeah, I said the same thing, and that's when I started just singing a lot of the Rocky montage songs.
Well, I know where my father's going to go. So, because he was a Zach Frazier, West Virginia guy in the draft last year, ended up going to Pittsburgh late, and he performed very well prior to his injury. So, I know where he's going to go. And people have been trying to replace Tittman since he got here, which replace. I mean, straight up, they've wanted him. So he's had the first year where he's kind of playing all over the place, guard, this, that, the other. Then he got to center, and people said, "Ooh, let's go back to guard and then get a different center." To me, I think if the yips would have continued to be a problem, Joe Yipman, he would have gotten the snaps over people's head. Okay, like, hey man, if you can't snap the ball, that's a prerequisite to playing center. But we've had zero of those issues this year. So to me, I don't want to mess around. We have 4 of our starting 5, bare minimum, at 27 years of age or younger for next season under contract. The only one that's up in the air is Morgan Moses at right tackle. And I think a lot of Jet fans would love to bring him back. He's been a great Jet, but he's been very hurt. So that's something they'd have to probably get more depth, depending on how you feel about Max Mitchell and Carter Warrens. But I don't want to mess with the 5. We already have our 5. Like I said, our 4 of our 5. We have 4 of our 5 locked in. I don't want to be fucking around. And for what reason? And where at guard is he going? We have John Simpson under contract, who's been great. He's a top 10 guard in football. And you have AB2, who's got a fully guaranteed number for next season. So if he's going to guard, he's going to guard as a backup. So that to me doesn't make any sense. Those are the 4 of the 5. But Pop, I assumed what you were going to say, and you know what they say about people who assume.
Yeah, and it's normally right for you. I was I was really anti-Tippmann. I had a lot of concerns. I wanted him to play every snap in the preseason. If you remember, after he had that yip, I said, we got to know, right? We can't afford to go into the season not knowing with the number of times that go in the shotgun formation that he's going to deliver the ball on time without and there has not been those problems. And there has not been, sorry, up the middle has not been a problem. So, yeah, I wouldn't mess with it. I would tell you that I would leave him at center. Now, however, wherever the Jets end up, I would tell you that skill position players is not what they need in the 2025 draft. They're not going to – if you could get a quarterback, one of the top 2 quarterbacks, God bless you. You don't get them drafting the offensive line for the future, right? The teams that have sustained success in the running game and these other things have this core offensive line. So if you drafted another offensive lineman in 2025 in the first or second round, that's a win for the Jets' future, if the right one, obviously.
Yeah. Connor Riders has said Kelvin Banks, I believe he's the Texas offensive tackle. He'd be a right tackle in the NFL. He says he has a first-round grade on him, so he would be a potential option depending on where the Jets settle up. So they could go in that direction.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, because the whole conversation was in regards of like AVT, essentially Tippmann would be AVT's replacement. Then we would go ahead and get a center. And I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. Papa Ezen, I was on the same boat. I wanted Zach Zinter. Well, no, Zach Frazier as well as Zach Zinter last year. I wanted us to go completely like line for the future and stuff like that. The Moses conversation, it's a conversation that needs to be, but I still think that they need to go ahead and draft a replacement for him as well, because even though I know Morgan Moses is still doing really well, I just think that it's his body that's starting to like give up on him, right? Because he's having all these really weird, crazy injuries right now that's occurring to him and all that. And I love Morgan Moses. I want Morgan Moses. I never wanted him gone from the jump. So I wanted to come up here real quick. I just wanted to go ahead and say that. And again, my condolences to you guys as well and everything too. So say that. But last question, holiday movies. What are you guys' favorite holiday movies? That's just like it's a must watch every single time in the Esden household. And with that being said, Friday After Next is mine. So
okay, there we go. I love it, Johnny. Good suggestion. All right, Pop, go ahead and answer. What's your Christmas movies of choice here?
Yeah, so it's 3.
Okay,
it is in no particular order. Scrooged,
of course. Bill Murray. Yes,
Bill Murray. If you haven't seen Scrooge, I don't know where you've been. It's a phenomenal.
Quick aside. So a popular thing around this time of year on TV, radios, people say their top 5 Christmas movies all the time, and they go through them, and you hear a lot of common names. Scrooge is one I never hear, and I don't understand why. Like I said, it's also at the top of my list, and we grew up together, obviously, so it makes sense that a lot of the taste may be the same. But yeah, I never hear when people talk about the best Christmas movies out there, so it's incredibly disappointing. More people need to get on the Scrooge train.
That's right. And then the other 2, vodka from Chernobyl. Anyway, the other 2 are, similar, right? Your mom's favorite movie, A Christmas Story, right? If you've never been and you go to Cleveland, I don't know why you would go to Cleveland. But anyways, if you ever happen to go to Cleveland, they have the museum there, the house from the movies there. You could go do a tour. So Christmas Story, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Holiday Road, baby.
Christmas Vacation.
Bend over and I'll show you. So,
you can't talk to me that way, Griswold.
I wasn't talking to you. So, yes.
Yeah. Really quotable. Did he get down in the cabinet for, Christmas story?
Yeah. So, do you want me to tell that story real quick?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. So, sure, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, we went to the Christmas Story house, and there was the kid who couldn't put his arms down. I can't remember. It's not Ralphie. It's Ralphie's brother. Whatever his brother's name is.
I'll get it real quick.
So, anyways, when we get his name, the younger brother,
Randy.
So Randy was in the house when we went. We had no idea this was the case. Randy was in the house doing the tours of the Christmas Story house.
So like working with the house, you're saying?
Yeah, he was working with the house doing a tour.
Okay.
And so, so we're 2 funny things happened, and one of them is not going to make me look good. One of them is, so he is autographing like DVDs about behind the Christmas Story.
Oh, cool. Okay.
He would go to that Chinese food restaurant with you. If you wanted to go out to, if you paid, he would go out to dinner with you at a Chinese food restaurant. And so anyways, we're on this tour and there's this woman that's with us. And she's like, hey, why didn't you do more movies? And I'm looking at her, I'm like, bitch, you think he chose to walk you around this house as opposed to getting an Oscar for being in a movie? And I'm just like, but that passed. So I felt bad for the guy, but it passed because one of the other things he would do is he would get underneath the cabinet, like when he was hiding and he was in
Oh.
trouble. If you paid him $5, he would crawl underneath the cabinet so you could take a picture of him. Underneath the cabinet. So I got in a little trouble for this. I said, yeah, please, go into the cabinet. So this grown man, this like 30 or 40-year-old man, he goes and gets in the cabinet.
Yeah.
He looks at me, he's like, all right, you ready to take a picture? I'm like, I actually don't need a picture, but here's your $5.
Hey, by the way, the guy's name is Ian Petrella, apparently. How old do you think he is?
Right now, he's probably
Yeah.
40.
He's 50.
Yeah.
He's 50 right now.
Yeah, he got under the cabinet. It was not easy,
Oh.
right? He's a little guy. He got under the cabinet. He looks up. He's like, you want to take your picture now? No, I'm good.
And by the way, now that we're down this road, what do you do with that picture? Okay, you're like, sure. What am I doing with that picture? What
And by the way, right? And we have a
like going on
picture
my
of you, by
fridge.
the way, when you were a little kid underneath the cabinet, like coming out of the cabinet. So it's cute. So a picture of you in a cabinet is cute. Like, what are you ever going to do with
50-year-old
that
man.
picture?
Yeah, right.
This 50-year-old man getting in the cabinet.
Who is that? If someone doesn't get it, they're like, "Who the hell is this?" And I would imagine at default, if someone said, "Hey, look," I wouldn't get him. Like, who the hell is this? Who is this old man? It's just it's somewhat uncomfortable. But anywho, yeah, that's a good story. I'm glad that we got that in for the holiday season. Real quick, FL Phil 98 has jumped onto the train, baby. Let's get it together. He just gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Excellent, which gives FL Phil 98 another membership. He has now joined the 30 gifted memberships band club, and that's at a tie with a bunch of other people who are at 30. So long story short, FL Phil 98 is well into the conversation, both for raffle tickets, of course, but also for the emoji contest where he has a chance to win the whole shish kebab. So we'll keep an eye on that for FL Phil 98, baby, who's doing yeoman's work there. We appreciate you. Thank you, FL Phil 98. Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, the Four Christmases is a very amusing movie.
Oh yes, Vince Vaughn. Yeah, I enjoy it.
By the way, Vince Vaughn had that incredible run of Dodgeball and Wedding Crashers and and then he's been in some stuff, but I mean those are some funny movies.
They are.
And the Four Christmases, other than that guy from that guy eating the chicken wings, it's a little disturbing.
Flip the tube. Flip the tube. Flip the tube. Yeah, right. Yeah, and all their names are from where they were conceived. Orlando and this, that, or the other. All the brothers when they go back to the house. Yeah, that's funny. By the way, John was gifted that Boy Green Coffee Club membership by FL Phil 98. Just a quick shout out there. But yeah, that's a good one. Every time I try to watch it, Tatiana, my fiance, hates that movie. So I don't get to watch it often. But the Four Christmases one is one I wanted to kind of work into the regular rotation because I said, hey, that's a funny movie.
And then, of course, Die Hard.
Die Hard, that's in there. How about this? So let me throw this one at you. Okay, this was just brought to my attention. I never considered it previously. Someone has thrown another movie into the mix I have not normally considered as a Christmas movie. Groundhog's Day. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I love Groundhog Day. It's a good movie, but yeah, I don't get it.
So apparently they made the case that there's Christmas songs, there's Christmas settings, there's Christmas things, and it's Groundhog's Day. So you're getting it over and over and over again. And they said, if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, why isn't Groundhog's Day? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never thought about it, and I haven't seen it in like a cajillion years. So I'd have to go back and review the tape to, I guess, see if there's something I was missing initially because I never considered it. But I just heard that yesterday. I went, I've never heard someone say that. See, Phil was all about it. He said he knew what it was. Okay, I guess there's some people that are on the train.
One other interesting fun fact: my new employer, the lobby of the building. I walked in the other day; they had it all done up for Christmas. And I'm like, this looks like the lobby from Die Hard. I'm like, there's a security guard. No, he doesn't put his feet up on the desk and watch football, but there is a security guard there, and But so it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from the Nakatomi building.
Nakatomi Tower. There you go. That's Alan Rickman. God rest his soul. One of the good actors. But I love that. Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah,
Johnny Boy. I saw Rocky IV on Christmas Day when the movie came out.
Hmm?
I will not say what year that was. It was 1985.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. A lot of good happenings here on the program. Let's go to Neil here on the show. What's up, Neil?
What's up, guys? Happy holidays.
Same to you and yours.
Getting ready for the seven fish Italian dinner my wife is traditionally prepares. I have to make several runs. We're doing Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It's going to be a food fest beyond unbelievable. You know, if you ever get to watch, there's a sleeper movie, The Seven Feast of the Seven Fishes is a good movie to watch.
Okay.
It's an old, it's a blue collar town where an Italian family does a seven fish dinner, and pretty cool. My favorite movie, it's a must every year, is Scrooge.
Nice.
But it's the Albert Finney Scrooge, where the songs are it's like a musical old movie. Albert Finney was one of the great actors of all time. Without a doubt, he does the most amazing Scrooge in that movie. And they have several songs in that movie that we all kind of sing. Like, I make it a Christmas Eve tradition that the whole family gets in. We watch it after dinner, and they have some songs in there. You know, when Scrooge is in the scene that he's in the Christmas future, and they're singing about his death, and they're dancing on his grave, on his thing. You know, the one guy, the soup guy, owes him a lot of money, and he sings a song, you know, thank you very much. You know, thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone ever done for me.
Yeah.
It's like, what did I do? What did I do? And they're all dancing on top. He doesn't realize he's dead.
Yeah.
And they're all dancing on top of his coffin. It's pretty cool. Great movie. Another sleeper movie, Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
I would consider that a holiday movie, you know.
Okay.
He's a rich Wall Street guy that wakes up one day and he's a family man with a wife and two kids in New Jersey. Really pretty cool movie as well. So I'm a pretty big Christmas movie guy.
Hey, someone sent this in, Neil. Is this true? Snowball says Neil needs some tools for Christmas on that back wall there. Is that true? Is that high on your list?
Yeah, I'm in my actually, the guy that owned this house before was a tremendous handyman.
Oh.
And this is his little, like, handyman lair. I'm not much of a guy, you know. I'm not a handy. I'm more of a supervisor type. I'm not
I see. I prefer that role as well.
And dirty. I point this way and that way. That's my favorite thing.
An important role.
I'm a pointer and payer.
Okay, there you go.
Now, I love your hat, Paul. I love your hat, Senior. Lions, not sheep, baby. I love it, man. We need a coach that's going to turn this team into some goddamn Lions, because we're such a bunch of sheep. It's not even funny. And they treat these guys like little kittens at Christmas morning. You know, oh, he's great. Oh, this guy's wonderful. This time of year, you know, I love watching Sights and Sounds with Bill Parcells. That's one of my favorite things to watch. When Bill Parcells screams and yells at everybody. And the best, when he has his media, you know, he used to do media, if you guys remember.
Yes, yeah.
It was a treasure. When he did a media session with the jerky New York media, and they said something, I'll never forget it. He goes, that's why they call you guys commies. You know, he said that in one press conference.
Yeah.
You know, the New York media is such a joke when it comes to all this crap that we're hearing. It's just a shame, you know, it really is. Joe Beningo said it. The media wants us to lose. That's all they want to do is have us lose. They want to keep the New York Jets, the loser story, every single year.
Yeah.
How come we hear nothing about the Giants? They suck too.
They're worse than us. They've lost more games in a row than any Giants team ever. Yet nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's a shame. And all I want to tell you, look, I'm going to the game tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to
Nice.
freeze my ass off.
There you go.
And the only reason I'm going is we have a big family get together with my Jersey family and New York family, and we're meeting at that American Mall
Yes,
of
yeah.
America there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they have a really nice sports bar that, ironically enough, you look out the window. It's pretty cool. You sit at a big table where there's going to be like 18 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And the table has a window, and behind the window is a ski slope where people come down because they put an indoor ski slope in this mall.
Wow.
Where people could actually ski. So you look out that window and it's snow and people skiing down a hill.
That's a cool visual.
So I have my season tickets, and I said, and I never miss a Jet game, never miss a snap. My sister planned it for 12 o'clock tomorrow. So my plan is 12 o'clock, I'll be there. I'm going to eat a little food, and it's right by, all you got to do is go through the tunnel and you go into the stadium. So I plan on taking my grandson, my son,
awesome.
and we're going to run over to the game and watch Aaron Rodgers light it up for a third game. One thing I noticed, the Rams have not played a game under 60 degrees temperature this year.
Mm-mm.
They have not played one game under 60 degrees. They had a game earlier in the season, but it was, 60 degrees, and I forgot where they played, a cold weather stadium, but it was a warm day early in the season, like November 3rd, I think it was.
Yeah, it looks like they played New England at New England. That might have
And
been
that was a 65-degree day.
Yeah.
In New England. So that was the coldest game they played this year. So it's going to be balls cold tomorrow, man. They are not going to be happy coming cross country and getting smacked around a little bit. So if we could come out on fire a little bit, we may be able to do something we haven't really done too often, and that's score early.
Because please, for the love of God. Yeah.
And for Christ's sakes, though, guys, can we blitz? Can we blitz a team? Could we stop with the 4-man rotation and rushing 4 and playing zone and getting picked apart all the way down the field? I mean, when are they going to realize that they got to blitz? They got to send at least 5 every single time, if not 6 and 7. Send the house. Stafford is not a guy that's going to run around the end and pick up 25 yards. He's going to duck and dive. You know what Stafford's going to do.
It's 100% true. And I hope the Jets do that because, like, everyone talks about old man Aaron Rodgers. What about old man Matthew Stafford, for God's sake? So, yeah, Neil was talking about that on the Jake Asman show. I think it was yesterday or was here on this show before about, the 4-man rush, the rotation that we have. And when we have the lesser guys in, then blitz to overcompensate for loss. That would be it. And FL Phil 98 said, Pop is looking for the bacon light.
Is it just me?
Okay.
Or did Neil talk about getting the New York and the New Jersey families together, and he's talking about a fish feast? Just be careful. Be nice to Neil because you don't know. You could wake up with a horse head.
Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. There you are, the 5 Ds of dodgeball. And Big Green, the Bill Murray Scrooge. This is what we were talking about. That's not the one Neil was talking about, but yes, that's one me and my father was referencing. All right, Pop. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah, just something Neil said reminded me. I'll tell you that we don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it, but go look at Stafford's career stats and Rodgers, and it will shock you that they're not that far apart. And I'm talking about, so Stafford, has he won a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Rodgers, have they won a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
What's the career passing yards for Aaron Rodgers? Like 62,000. What do you think it is for Stafford? How about 59,000? And so I'm not saying Stafford's a Hall of Famer. Stafford has never been the NFL MVP, but it was a shocking thing to me. He said that. I just poked at it. And I'm not saying they're the same quarterback. It was just shocking to me when I just started I wonder.
Well, here's an interesting stat. So Rodgers has 498 touchdowns. He has, and Matt Stafford's at 376. And Aaron Rodgers has only thrown 113 picks. Stafford's thrown 187. So he's got like 100 plus more passing touchdowns and like 70 less interceptions. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you segued because I opened it up for you. I put the little T-ball on there.
Oh, yeah, man.
Let's talk about the past 2-year span of Rodgers' playing career compared to back when he was MVP. And Fox Sports put this up on the screen.
Yes.
He has half the touchdowns and double the interceptions. The fall off has been precipitous, which you should spell that if you can, of Rodgers in his play.
Although, when you look at the numbers from Stafford, they have not been particularly great the last 2 years.
I was not touting Stafford. It just struck me.
I'm aware. I was just saying.
Well, I'm not advocating for Stafford. I'm just saying it was crazy to me. I just glanced.
It was. Yes. If you guys missed it, I don't have the stat, but it was basically over a 32-game span, which was obviously his back-to-back MVP seasons, and the 32 games played, which includes his 2022 at the Packers and the combination with the Jets so far. It was the equal amount of games, 32 games, 32 games. And obviously the 32 games of the first 2 years was the MVP years, and the 32 games was the combination of both the other. And right, to your point, it was double the interceptions and like half the touchdowns. It was stark and it was crazy. And again, we'll see. I'll be curious to see if if we get Rodgers back next year, what does it look like? Real quick, a fantasy question coming in here. Do I start Breece Hall or Brian Robinson Jr.? I'd go Brian Robinson Jr., Aaron, to be honest with you. I think Breece is compromised despite what the injury report says. Brian Robinson is clearly the guy, and Austin Eckler still on IR for Washington. Breece Hall is in a committee. I don't know. Again, you can miss the home run plays because Breece showed it in one of the weeks where he had this 30-yard burst, and if the angle would have been right, he could have gotten a touchdown. So, there's a risk or chance that could happen. But, long story short, I'd go Brian Robinson if I had the choice. I'd go Brian Robinson. One more phone call real quick, Dad, before we sign off here. Hep joins us here on the show.
Hey, Mr. Eston, it's John Hepburn. I just want to say I'm really sorry for your mom. Me and you both took big hits this year, and just a shout out to everybody in honor of Grandma Eston. Let's everyone call your mom today if you have one, and tell her you love her. Okay, peace out, guys.
Thanks, Hep. Yeah, Papa. Before we end. I said a little something about it yesterday on the show. If you don't want to talk about it, feel free for obvious reasons. But with Hepa bringing it up and Johnny wishing it for people who don't know, unfortunately, my grandmother passed away this week. Your mother passed away. A lot of people have been sending their condolences and thoughts. I just didn't know if you had anything you wanted to say.
Yeah, I think that's, take the time for a phone call or something like that because you never know, especially as your parents get older. Now, and a little over a year, I've lost both my parents, and I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with them the past couple of years, and I don't regret any time there. So make sure you take that time. We all get busy, but don't be too busy.
Yeah, as my pop just kind of says there, you can't spend too much time. You're not going to be like, God damn, spend a little too much time with the family. You can never spend enough. So thoughts and love and everything. And again, we appreciate it. You guys have sent a lot of stuff on social media or Discord or what have you. It's kind of interesting. I will end on this, just a random on an uptick here. We have FL Phil 98. Interesting question. Is Stafford a Hall of Famer? Compare numbers to Eli Manning. Comparable numbers, I'm assuming, is what FL Phil is saying there. And I will just say this. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls, and both of them were against Tom Brady, and he's in the top 10 of all those major stats. The fact that Stafford has had all the stats, former number 1 overall pick, did get the championship eventually, I think he wears a gold jacket. I don't think he's first ballot, but I think Stafford's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I would say I think I'm not saying he's in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning is.
He's going first ballot this year, Papa.
He's garbage. But I would say this.
No.
You look at Stafford's stats,
yep.
Realize that he was on some freaking miserable teams.
Yeah, Detroit.
And I would say you talk about the touchdowns, interceptions.
Yeah,
right. He was on some bad Lions teams forever. If you plug and played him on a different team, with some, that didn't.
Right, Rams or Sean McVay for longer than these last couple of years at the tail end.
Yeah, and I would say his numbers, who knows, would they be comparable to Aaron, who was on some really good teams. Well, I mean, they're already comparable, right? And a lot of
some
times
of the
the
numbers,
Lions were always behind.
Yeah.
Right. So the interceptions make sense. So I don't know. Right. I'm not comparing the two now. The yardage, the Super Bowls are the same. But realistically, what would have been, because he was on some shit ass teams.
That he was. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your holidays. We'll continue to have Boy Green Dailies here every day, obviously. Even on Christmas, I'll be here in the morning before my family wakes up. So we'll see y'all guys then. Pop, happy holidays. Enjoy your family reunion festivities happening at this current moment in time. God bless. And we'll be back on tomorrow with Boy Green and Woody, your other son.
And you'll probably see me more often throughout the holiday season here. So could be a guest spot here or there. But
hey now.
Hey now.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Pop, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.